we're going to address some very important things. I'm going to step away from the whole Ebola care. I'm not going to talk about that anymore for a minute. And I'm going to address a story that I just saw on CNN.com. 10-year-old shooter, quote, I want to be an inspiration. October the 17th, 2014. CNN reports, she picks up the custom handgun painted in her favorite colors, purple and black. Her long black braid bounces slightly with each of the 6 shots she fires. Metal pings signify when she hits the mark. She runs to the next target, 9 more shots, and she reloads. Meet Cheyenne Roberts, a 10-year-old competitive shooter who is out to prove something. Children with guns don't always mean disaster. Quote, I want to be an inspiration to other kids and be a leader, said the girl. Quote, kids and guns don't always mean bad things happen. Cheyenne competes alongside junior shooters who are participants younger than 18 and even adults. Last year, she beat out adult women to place second in the women's division of the New Jersey Ruger Rimfire Challenge. On October 31st, which was Halloween, she will square off against 200 of the top women shooters at the Brownells Lady 3-Gun Pro-Am Challenge in Covington, Georgia. Cheyenne is the youngest competitive shooter registered at the female-only event, according to the match director. The top shooter has a chance to win $5,000, as well as items from a prize of table of guns, ammo, and more. The Franklinville, New Jersey girl, who now has more than 20 sponsors, started learning gun safety when she was 5. After she could recite the rules and has grasped what guns can do, around age 6, her father started taking her to a gun range. Dan Roberts is a certified firearms instructor and a single dad. He has custody of Cheyenne and her younger brother. Cheyenne's natural talent turned into a passion, and at 7, the young athlete started competing in local matches. Physically, a competitive shooter needs to have good hand and forearm strength, as well as the ability to handle the firearm's sometimes strong recoil. Good technique also helps. Not every child is ready to wield a gun. When asked how he feels about his daughter using a gun, her father said, I feel very comfortable because I know she's been extraordinarily well trained at how to be safe. I could have a fully loaded machine gun and she would not dream of touching it because the curiosity factor has been eliminated. Roberts believes early firearm education and training are the keys to reducing gun accidents. He argues that if kids knew about guns at a young age, their curiosity wouldn't get the best of them, leaving tragedy in their trail. Even under direct supervision, giving kids access to guns can be deadly. A 9-year-old girl accidentally shot and killed her instructor with a submachine gun called an Uzi in August, causing anti-gun activists to reiterate their objections to allowing guns anywhere around children. Roberts balks at the notion that training children to use guns poses an increased danger. Quote, we can teach 4th graders safe sex practices, but we can't mention teaching firearm education in public grade school without anti-gun groups having a complete meltdown? It's completely ludicrous, he said. Now, everyone is convinced that teaching gun safety at a young age is the key to preventing accidents. Dan Gross, president of the Brady Campaign and Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, says it's not enough. Quote, it's not to say that teaching your kids gun safety can't help, but relying on that alone is extremely dangerous mentally. It is an extremely dangerous mentality. Gross said, I see tragedies every day that wind up occurring because a parent thought that their child knew better. Roberts trusts his daughter, but that doesn't mean he believes that every child or even adult is ready to wield a gun. Quote, as an instructor for over a decade, I've been around adults that shouldn't be within 10 feet of a slingshot. I have a 10-year-old daughter that's a competitive athlete. It really depends on the kids involved. Now I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to look at some key points and key statements in this just bizarre story. Excuse me. The young girl says, I want to be an inspiration to other kids and be a leader. Kids and guns don't always mean bad things happen. My question is, why is there even a focus on guns? If there is a fight for anti-gun laws with adults, why is there such a push for children to have guns? Not have guns, but learn how to shoot guns. The anti-gun group is just gonna go crazy over this. Now, here's another key statement that I feel needs to be, because the father says, quote, we can teach 4th graders safe sex practices, but we can't mention teaching firearm education in a public grade school without anti-gun groups having a complete meltdown. Now, he's right about teaching 4th graders safe sex, because first of all, this is something parents should be teaching their children, and it shouldn't be teaching them at that age anyway, right? Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with that comparison. But two wrongs don't make a right. You're saying Let's teach them safe sex and also allow them to learn how to shoot a gun. You're creating a chaotic society. This is just total irresponsibility of the parent. Now going back to the previous person, the previous child, that was a 9-year-old who shot her instructor. The deadly incident occurred Monday morning at a gun range in Arizona that caters to Las Vegas tourists, many of whom drive an hour from the gambling center to fire high-powered weapons. Charles Vaca was accidentally shot in the head as he instructed the 9-year-old girl how to fire an Uzi, an Israeli-made 9mm submachine gun. As she pulled the trigger, the gun jumped out of her left hand toward Vaca, who was standing beside her. Quote, to put an Uzi in the hand of a 9-year-old is extremely reckless. CNN law enforcement analyst Tom Fuentes says. Gun experts contacted by CNN on Wednesday said young children should be taught to shoot with single-shot firearms rather than submachine guns. They shouldn't be taught how to use any gun. And then on top of that, why are you using real guns? Why don't you use toy guns? It's the same mechanics. You know the little guns you get at, the store that has an orange cap on it? Little BB guns. Why aren't they learning how to shoot those? What happened to paintball? They don't do that. See, what this really is this is prepping society for the children to have the right to bear arms in these schools due to the Columbines, the Sandy Hooks, these so-called tragedies. The children should be able to protect themselves. So a 9-year-old kid will soon have the right to carry a pistol, a child-designed gun, child-specified gun to school to protect themselves from the crazy kids that decide to shoot up the school. Then you'll have 9-year-old, 10-year-old heroes who shot the crazy kid who was running through the school halls trying to shoot everything that moves. What is this society coming to? This is chaos.